This is Album of the Week, Episode 1. So to start things off with the first of hopefully many Album of the Weeks, we're going to start off with Ben Allison and Man Size Safe, Little Things Run the World. So Ben Allison is a leading jazz composer and bassist in the world today. He's absolutely phenomenal. I had a chance to meet him and work with him when he did a residency along with his trio at the University of Wisconsin-Stevens Point a few years ago. And I actually played two of the tracks that are on here. I played big band arrangements of them. So on this album we have Ben Allison on bass and acoustic guitar. Ron Horton is the trumpet and flugelhorn player. Steve Cardenas is on guitar. We've got Michael Sarin on drums. And then Michael Blake played, I think, 3 of the tunes on tenor or soprano saxophone. And most of these were written by Ben Allison. If I'm remembering correctly, it was Language of Love and then Jealous Guy were not composed by Ben Allison. So I'm going to link this album in the description below. So I'm a huge fan of physical copies of CDs for a number of reasons. The two big ones are there's a lot of information in these little thingies that are in the front of the CDs that you can't find anywhere else. I used to not really care, but I have a professor in college who really speaks highly of this and of buying physical CDs, and I really respect that. For that reason, as well as when you buy a CD, it supports an artist directly versus just listening on Spotify or anything like that. I do listen on Spotify most of the time, if I'm being completely honest, but supporting artists is really important, and I often think, if I were to ever release an album, I would want people to buy it. So if you really like some music, buy it. So I'm going to link this direct link to Ben Allison's website below so you can check it out. So the reason I picked this album was because 2 of these tracks mean a lot to me, and those 2 are Respiration, which is the first track, and then Roll Credits, number 5. That was the reason I bought this album, because I just love those 2 charts. We played big band those were the 2 we played big band arrangements of. And this album actually isn't on Spotify, so I don't know if it's on Apple Music, I don't have that, or Amazon Music or whatever it is. So buy the CD, you have to. The rest of them are really, really cool. So I'm doing this thing with each album I review, and I'm going to pick one track to win the album. And on this album I pick Roll Credits. Roll Credits is so cool. And I just want to read you the notes that Ben Allison, not the whole thing, but just some of them that he started with. So under Roll Credits it says, "A sunset gaucho on a skinny horse stretched tall and narrow, drinks celestial grunge." That's really interesting, and I can kind of hear it when I listen to it. It's my absolute favorite track on this album, and actually my favorite Ben Allison composition. It's really, really cool. It starts off with solo bass and just expands out from there. Another reason I really like Roll Credits is there are just the chord progression is not where my ear is really expecting it to go, and it's just awesome. I think I'm pulling this out again, but he even says at the end, "There's information in the grain of film and the overtones of acoustic instruments, beauty in the wrong notes." And that's so true. This is just an absolutely fantastic album, and I highly recommend it. I'm so happy and sad that this is my first Album of the Week review, because I'm sure looking back I'm going to be like, gosh, this sucks. Not this, my review of it. It's not even a review. It's Album of the Week. Off to a great start. But I'd also like to quick shout out Jealous Guy, which is on this. It's a John Lennon tune. He did a really neat arrangement with it. So I highly recommend you purchase this. So that was the first episode of Album of the Week. looking forward to seeing where this goes and what else I can add to it. You know, I wrote down a lot of stuff, but it wasn't as much as I thought it was after talking about it. So sorry, Ben. Luckily, you have many more albums that I will eventually get to. And I hope I don't keep saying review, because this isn't really a review. My goal with Album of the Week is for this to be a place of discovery. So maybe I can show you some new music that you aren't aware of. Just open your ears to new things. And I'm hoping that works both ways too. So please comment below if there's anything you think I should check out and maybe share with the rest of the audience, which is 0 right now. But hopefully this show grows, because I think it's a really, really neat idea. So please comment below if you have any suggestions for what I should do in the future. Speaking of what I should do in the future, next week I'm planning on doing the Dallas Brass CD, An American Musical Journey, I believe it's called. So if you want to try and keep up with me, I'm going to link that below so you can purchase it and hopefully get it in time. If you're new here, I'd hope that you leave me a like and hit that subscribe button so you keep up to date with the Album of the Week. I think that's all I've got. So thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.